Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Suddhaspadiga Sankasham Shuddha Vidya Pradayakam Shuddham Purnam Chidanandam Sadashivamaham Shraye Shankarupena Machittam Pankekritam Abhudhyaya Kimkariyasya Samaya Shankaracharya Mashraye Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Bharathi Karunapatram Bharathi Padabhushanam Bharathi Padamarudam Bharathi Tirthamashraye Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajñam Vidushekara Bharatim Mala Sudha Kumbha Vibhoda Mudra Vidya Virajat Karavari Jatam Apara Karunya Sudham Burashim Sri Sharadambam Pranatosmi Nityam Om. Today we will take up Jnana Yoga. In the previous sessions, we saw how our scriptures present an ideal infrastructure for the fulfillment of all the four human goals. Next, the course of discipline for the accomplishment of the human goals, Purusharthas. What are the course of discipline? Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Out of these three, we have already seen briefly Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga. Today, we will discuss about Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is a course of discipline meant for gaining knowledge. That is Jnanam. Jnanam is knowledge. Jnana Praptyartham Yogaha. What knowledge? That is knowledge of what? What is the objective? What is the object of this knowledge? In this context, Jnanam is Ātmā Jnānam. That is self-knowledge. Knowledge about oneself. But we all have some knowledge about ourselves. The moment I start asking you about what is your background, then immediately you will start telling date of birth, my name, my parents' name, my height, my weight, then the relations, what is my qualification. All those details I will start listing one by one. All these details are about the superficial personality, not about my real self. In Jnana Yoga, we don't talk about the superficial personality. Here, we discuss the knowledge about the essential nature of I, the self. The real nature of I, basic nature of self. Para Prakriti, higher nature. Whatever name we call, whatever word we use, in the scriptures, the real I is called Ātmā. Therefore, Jnana Yoga is Ātmā Jnāna Yogam. A course of discipline meant for self-knowledge. What is the purpose of self-knowledge? Self-knowledge gives us freedom. That is Moksha Purushartha. Highest goal, the primary goal or the only goal the scriptures teach us, prescribe. Moksha Purushartha. What is moksha? If you recall, we have already discussed in the first chapter when we were discussing about four Purushartha, Chaturvida Purushartha we saw. That is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksham. There we saw what is Moksha Purushartha. Because Jnana Yoga deals with Moksha Purushartha, we have to discuss in detail about this. What is Moksha? Moksha means freedom. The instinctive urge of every living being, including human being, is freedom. A bird is never happy living in a cage. A wild animal is never happy living in a zoo. Similarly, a child also, even a child, it will be catching hold of the mother's hand when it is not that strong, when it is not confident. The moment the child decides to become free, or if he realizes that he has the strength, he has the confidence, immediately it leaves mother's hand and it feels free to be on its own. So the essential nature, urge of all living beings is freedom. Now, freedom from what? Freedom from all types of dependence on external factors. That is, I should not be dependent on any external factor for my security, for my happiness. I should not even depend upon dharma, that is punyam, for future security or pleasure. Therefore, discovering happiness or security in myself is called moksham. That is moksha. Freedom, another way of telling is freedom from bondage. Freedom from dependence. Bondage is caused by what? Bondage means what? How bondage is caused? Do we know that? If you have to find the answer, bondage is caused by the first three purushartha, that is dharma, artha, kama, purushartha. See, in the initial stages of our life, we are very interested, we are very keen on acquiring wealth for security, happiness, comfort, all those factors, to take care of the family wealth, etc. So they are very interesting and they are very essential also. In the initial stages, they are very essential. But the same three purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, will become bondage once you grow in your mental maturity. That is, they themselves cause bondage for me. They are shackles. Even dharma, people may ask why dharma is a bondage. Dharma is also a bondage. It is a shackle. That is golden shackle, we can say golden bondage. Whereas artha, kama, or maybe there is iron shackle. That's the only difference. Shackle is a shackle, that's it. For that matter, anything or any being in the creation can cause bondage at any point of time. Bondage is of two types. One is when an object is present, it is there with me. The presence of the object or the person causes bondage. In Sanskritam it is bharaha, that is stress or strain of handling the object, managing the object, managing the relationship is very big bharam because of stress and strain caused. Most of the times the stress and strain is caused by human relationship. Thus, the presence of objects or people causes a type of bondage. That is, we saw bhara. The second is absence of objects, absence of people. This also creates another type of problem. That is, I feel empty, I feel lonely when they are not there. Without them, I feel lonely. With them, I am strained. I am drained of my energies. Therefore, I am not very sure whether I want these objects, whether I want these people, or I don't want them. There is a confusion. When I don't have them, I crave for their presence. When I have them, I crave for freedom. Either way, I am in trouble. I am in a soup. By moksha, we mean that is, I am free from these both types of problems. That is, the problem caused by either the presence of objects or people, it will not cause strain in me if I am free. Similarly, absence of objects and people also will not make me feel lonely. So, with the people and object, I am fine. Similarly, I am fine without the people and objects. This is freedom. That is inner freedom. This is beautifully explained by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Naiva tasya krite nataha na krite neha kaschana nachasya sarva bhuteshu kaschidarthavya pashrayah. This freedom is the result of self-knowledge. This inner freedom expresses in the form of three virtues which are very important for human life. That is, we pray Bhagavan to give me samatva buddhi, equanimous mind. In this prayer, we address the Lord and ask the Lord for three virtues. O Lord, grant me the serenity, that is samatva buddhi, to accept what cannot be changed. Second one, O Lord, please grant me the courage to change those which I can change. I pray God, grant me the discrimination or the wisdom to identify what are the things that can be changed and what are those that cannot be changed. I should know the distinction between these two. Especially, this is more particular with regard to human relationship and family members, more so with family members. The first prayer was to accept. Lord, to give me samatva buddhi, to accept what cannot be changed. Acceptance here, we do not mean negative sense of acceptance. That is, people will say what cannot be cured has to be endured. What can I do? I have to go through this. So there is a sense of frustration, sense of victimization there. We do not mean that type of acceptance. We mean a balanced, a cheerful, healthy form of acceptance, which will not lead to any negative feeling, any hatred or bitterness. There is no sense of victimization here. Life will be very beautiful if I can healthily and happily accept those things which cannot be changed. That is, all those choiceless situations. That's what Swami Paramarthananda ji says, choiceless situation. And then courageously change what can be transformed and able to discern, identify or discriminate the things which can be changed and those which cannot be changed. These are the three virtues which are very much essential for our human life, and we pray Bhagavan to give all these three virtues. And then our scriptures point out that security and happiness can never come from outside. Because we always, all the time, we seek security and happiness which will be there permanently. Whatever the external objects, see, all we saw, that is freedom from dependence on external objects for my security and freedom. That we should not have. But then, we always want the security and happiness to be there permanently with us. Our scriptures say, they will not come from outside. Therefore, you don't seek happiness and security from any external object or people. And it goes on to say, the scriptures go on to say that they are available within you. And finally they say, they are my very nature. This is what the scriptures teach us. What is within me, I cannot find outside. However hard I may try, it may be futile exercise. Supposing I miss a key which I have put in my pocket, I will never find this key anywhere outside my pocket. However hard I may search. My failure to find the key is not because of any lack of effort. I have a lot of shraddha in searching the key everywhere. But it is because of the lack of direction. I don't know where to search. Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji tells an interesting story to explain this situation, where he says that you have to search in the right direction, the right position. In Kumbhakonam, in South India, a small town, we celebrate very huge festival called Mahamakam. Once in 12 years it is celebrated. There will be a big temple water tank. At that time it will be full, water will be full, where all people will take bath on a particular day during particular time, that is 2 hours, 3 hours or so. There is no place for people to move here and there in this tank. One person came to take bath, he found a place, he took bath. When he took dip into the water and came out, he found his ring was missing. That is the ring given by his father-in-law, very important. So he has to find out, otherwise there will be problem at home. But unfortunately he could not bend down once again to search because there is a lot of people around, no place for him. So he very saddened by this, he came out of the water tank. Then he dries up himself and then he starts walking. And on the road he finds another tank. That tank is very smaller tank with little water. So he thought he can find his ring in that water, and then he started searching there. He took dip and then he was searching. He could not get. So 3-4 times he tried. He could not get his lost ring. So there was a person he was a social worker. So he took interest in him. He took pity on him because this person is very sad. So he asked him what happened. He said, I have lost my ring. I am searching for my ring here. Then the social worker said, okay, I will also join you because I feel bad for your loss. And he joined. And 4, 5 people also joined in the whole search. They all tried 5, 6 times, 10 times. They took deep breath. They were searching for the lost ring. Nobody could find, obviously. Then finally they were very tired. One person asked this fellow, where did you lose the ring? Which place you lost? Then our fellow said, in the big tank where people take bath, a lot of people take bath. Then these people asked, what a fool are you? You are searching in the wrong place. How will you find? So, searching in a wrong place or searching in the wrong direction will only give you strain. It will definitely not give you any result. So now we know the permanent happiness, permanent security is within us. We have to seek within, that also we know. But how will I get this knowledge? What is the discipline of Jnana Yoga that I should follow to gain self-knowledge, so that I can ever be free, I can ever feel secured, I can ever feel happy? Any jnanam or knowledge can be attained by only one method, by using the instrument of knowledge. Pramanam. Pramanam is very important technical word. One who uses the instrument of knowledge is called pramata. He uses pramanam to get prama, that is knowledge, with regard to the object that is known, which is called prameyam. Therefore, a pramata uses pramanam, that is instrument of knowledge, to acquire prama with regard to the object, prameyam. Without using the instrument of knowledge, I cannot get the knowledge. If I have to get the knowledge of color of a particular object, I have to use my eyes. That is the instrument of knowledge as far as the color is concerned. That is a sense organ I have to use. There is no other option. Similarly, without using my ears, Shabda Jnanam cannot take place. Sound cannot take place. Scriptures say we have 5 instruments of knowledge at our disposal. We are given 5 sense organs. Apart from that, there are other 4 instruments which are mentioned by scriptures. Since these instruments of knowledge are available for human beings, they are called Pancha Paurusheya Pramanani. Pancha Paurusheya Pramanani. That is 5 instruments of knowledge which are available only for human beings. We will see briefly, because it is only introduction. I am not going to discuss in detail. We will just see briefly. First is perception. Next one is inference. Third is postulate. Fourth is comparison, and fifth one is non-cognition. Perception is pratyaksham, direct means of knowledge, primary means of knowledge. You will get knowledge by using 5-fold sense organs, as we discussed. That is eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. And the other 4 category can be clubbed as one: inference or anumanam. They are all grouped together. We can call them secondary means or indirect means of knowledge. Inference, anumanam; postulate, arthapatti; comparison is upamanam; and non-cognition is anupalabdhihi. So for all practical purposes, all these 5 Paurusheya Pramanani can be reduced to 2: perception and inference, by which we acquire all kinds of knowledge, whether it is science or scriptures, any knowledge. We use these 2, that is direct primary means of knowledge, which is perception, which is obtained by our 5 sense organs, or inference, secondary or indirect means of knowledge. So these are the 2 instruments of knowledge which are available. Now for self-knowledge, which pramanam should I use? Pramanam is instrument of knowledge. Our Shastras point out that the instrument that you want to make use of will depend upon the object that which you want to know. It does not depend on your whims and fancies. If I have to hear the sound, I have to use my ears. One of the sense organs, ears. Suppose I feel my ears are tired, I cannot make use of my ears. Why not I use eyes to hear? Then it is not possible. I cannot hear any sound through my eyes or through my nose or any other sense organ except ears. So here the object is sound, hearing. So I have to make use of the corresponding sense organ, which are ears, for that. Therefore, Jnanam has to be acquired by making use of appropriate pramanam, instrument only. All these instruments of knowledge that are at our disposal are unfortunately extrovert. That is, instruments which are capable of giving or studying the external world, objective world. None of these instruments is capable of studying the very subject matter, that is I. that is the subject behind these instruments. This is the intrinsic limitation of Pancha Pramanani, Paurusheya Pancha Pramanani. Perception and inference and even modern science for that matter will not help me to understand the real self, because that is about the subject matter, subject. Now only some scientists are accepting the fact that modern science can only study the objective universe and it cannot help us in studying self-knowledge. It can never study the subject I. Like our own eyes. Eyes can perceive everything in the whole creation, but unfortunately it has a peculiar problem, limitation. That is, they cannot see themselves. They cannot see the face also, because they are extrovert. Therefore, the simple law is, subject is never subject to objectification. Subject is never available for objective study. I cannot study myself by using my sense organs and inference also. Similar to, eyes cannot see themselves. Therefore, self-knowledge will always be elusive to modern science, because modern science deal only with matter and also our 5 instruments of knowledge. Then what is the way out? I want to know myself. I want to study. I want to understand the self-knowledge. I want to gain the self-knowledge. So it is not available by making use of my sense organs, that is direct perception, and indirect method of knowing also. I cannot use inference also, it is not useful. Then what do I do? If I have to see my own eyes, I have to learn a technique to seek the help of another instrument, external factor called mirror. I have to make use of a mirror. I have to be humble enough to accept that my eyes are not capable of seeing themselves. Therefore, I have to depend on an external factor, which is mirror. With the help of mirror, I can see my own eyes, not only my eyes, but my face also. Similarly, all the Paurusheya Pramanams are inadequate to give me self-knowledge. Unless I introduce a 6th Pramanam, 6th factor, which will serve as a mirror for gaining this self-knowledge, I have to accept the necessity of the 6th Pramanam, which is not in my hands, should come from outside, similar to external mirror. And that 6th Pramana is Shastra Pramanam or Shabda Pramanam, that is scriptural teachings. This scriptural teaching is not available with me at present. I don't have it. It has to be brought from outside, like a mirror. That is Apaurusheya Pramana. Shastra Pramanam, as we already discussed in the first chapter, second chapter, it is Apaurusheyam. It is given by Ishvara. It is not naturally available to me. Naturally, it is not available to human beings, but it has to be brought from external source. Shastra Pramana is gifted by Ishvara. Similar to how a mirror is useful for us to know, for us to see my own eyes, to see myself, to understand about myself, I have to use Shastra Pramanam or Shastra Darpanaha, that is scriptural mirror. We say mirror, scriptural mirror, Shastra Darpana. Only by using Apaurusheya Pramana, Shabda Pramana or Shastra Pramana, we can know our real nature, real self. Then only I can get my real knowledge. We will see more in detail in the next session. With this, I will complete this session. Hari Om. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि